Hi guys, welcome back to another video. So today I'm going to be sharing some new stuff I got with you. So let's see, how long was it? A couple months ago, my alarm clock fell off in the middle of the night. I went to reach up to try to grab it from my desk to check the time, and it fell all the way down and basically broke. It's not glass, but it didn't shatter or anything because it wasn't glass, it was plastic. But the batteries fell out and it busted somehow. I don't know. It's weird. So I had to get a new one, and it finally came last week. Came to my house. So I had to wait till my family came to give it to me. But while I was buying that, I decided I'd have some fun, and so I bought some really cool stuff. Sorry, I had to fix my glasses. There we go. I apologize if you're seeing something. I'm got the back-facing camera so I can show you something. So I have a ball, which you can probably hear. Now you can hear it. It has bells in it, obviously. And I'm going to just roll it across the floor so that way it's not in the way. So, you can see how it's jingling. And now I know exactly where it is. Almost. There it is. Okay, I overestimated the sound. I know pretty much where it is by the sound of it. They are a lot cheaper than regular beeper balls. Beeper balls are basically just balls that have a beeping box inside, and they take batteries, and you have to watch for batteries and all that. This is just a ball with a bell. They have rattle soccer balls, footballs. They have beeping baseballs or beeping softballs, excuse me. Goal balls, which are similar to this except they're harder and a little bit bigger. This is, I think it's a volleyball, but it might just be a regular ball with bells, and I like it because it has a really good sound. I don't really know what I'm going to do with it yet, because, there's really nowhere to go play with anyone, but maybe I'll find someone. Maybe I'll just kick it around somewhere, inside a court or something. And yeah, so that's that. I haven't been hiking yet because it's too cold, and it's been, well, like I said, we had the tornado and the trees are down and stuff, so I haven't been hiking yet. But I can't wait to use my new hiking poles. I did not get those. I got those for Christmas. I don't know if I showed you guys those, but they're like trekking poles. So I got those. That was fun. And I have used them. So my alarm clock. I've got a pyramid talking alarm clock.
5:15 p.m.
This was, I think it was $13 or $14. The balls, excuse me, let me start over. The ball with bells was, I think, around 13 or 14, which is pretty good considering beeper balls are more expensive. And it's it's different. So this pyramid talking alarm clock, I would not recommend it for someone who maybe has arthritis in their fingers or has trouble using their fingers, because there's switches. I don't know if you guys can see. Maybe. But it's kind of I'm trying to think of the best way to explain it. They're they're not even buttons. They're just little switches you have to turn, or not turn, switch on and off. And my other alarm clock had this, but it had buttons, bigger buttons, so it only had one switch, which was for the volume. And this one has everything that switches, so if you have trouble using your fingers to get down in there and move the switch, I would not recommend this one. Although it is very sturdy, even though it doesn't look sturdy, but it is. It's very sturdy, very easy to use once you figure out what switches go with what. However, it's just not friendly to arthritic hands or fingers, or basically anyone who has trouble with their fingers. There it is. Okay. So another thing I got really cool. I got a money brailer too, which I don't know if you guys have ever seen those, but I can't figure it out, so I gave up on that. I might try it again a little bit later, but so I got a thermometer. It comes in this nice plastic case, and I'm gonna put the camera down so I can open it. Oh boy, what did it do? There it goes. Okay. You're seeing a dog print on a blanket because I have a it's like a bunch of paw prints on a blanket, so that's what you're seeing. Now you're seeing the wall. Okay, so here's the thermometer. I don't know if y'all can see the case, but it's a hard plastic case, very durable. And this thermometer has, it's like a tube, kind of. It's the best way I can think to describe it. A flat tube. So on the top, there's a button, and then on the underside and the bottom, there's a kind of like a raised button. I think it has a letter, or maybe not. I don't know. Maybe a P. And then at the end, there's like a tip, and on the tip, it's covered with a small plastic round thing. It kind of reminds me of those little things you used to get from the bubblegum machines. That's what the plastic piece kind of feels like. So I'm opening the plastic piece, put it in the container. Okay, here we are. So I've got the thermometer in my hand. Now, they did not have the kind I wanted. I wanted the forehead thermometer, but they had the ear one. They were out of the forehead one. I got these from the Braille bookstore, braillebookstore.com or Future Aids, something or other. This one was like $13. So it's a pretty good deal, considering that blindness products are normally a lot more expensive. So I'm going to press the bottom button.
Please measure.
So it gave a beep to let me know that it's on, and then it says please measure. It's kind of, the voice is kind of hard to understand. But I'm going to stick it in my ear now. The tip's facing towards me. It's a very small tip. So I'm sticking it in my ear. I'm going to press the button on the top, the big giant button. That's clear, but it's easily felt.
Your body temperature is 98.4 Fahrenheit degree.
Okay, 98.4.
Please measure.
Alright, so I'm going to turn it off. So I'm going to press the button from on the bottom. Okay, now it's off. I'm going to put it away. So that's basically how you do your temperature if you're blind. And I literally just got this 2 days ago. I'm so excited. I've never had any type of medical equipment that I could use independently. So this is fun. They do make blood pressure cuffs and other technology, which I don't really know a lot about. But those are kind of expensive. This one was like $13 and I had some money to spend, and I was like, sure, might as well. So I got that, and of course, I got the Braille labeler, and I got the money brailer, not the Braille labeler. And it's basically this little plastic device that you put your money into, kind of like I would do with my talking money identifier. And you put it in there and press the button down, whichever one you want. It's labeled in Braille and raised print. And it puts Braille on your bills, which hasn't worked for me yet, but I'm still learning. So that's nice for people that want that. It's like $6, so it's pretty cheap. I just normally go with the folding method, but I do use my talking identifier, which I got for free from NLS, National Library Service. But then you can also get an app on your phone and do it. It kind of works both ways. It really doesn't matter, as long as you know what your bills are and know you're not getting ripped off. And then, what else did I get? Oh, I got a liquid level indicator, which is like a little box with prongs. Hang on, let me see if I can find it. I have this giant drawer of hiking stuff. I have like bug spray and stuff in there, which I haven't been hiking yet because I haven't found the person to go with. And I don't want to go alone. So here it is. I saw my labeling supplies in there. So it's a little box. I don't know if you guys can see that. It might be too close to the camera. Back it up some. Okay. So it's like a little box that's rectangle-ish, and on this back of it, there's prongs that come down. So along the rectangle, if you have it to where the let's call it portrait mode of your phone. So if you have an iPhone and the camera's facing straight, and not to the side, like long ways, so it's facing vertical, so like normal, and on the side, coming out of it is these three metal, or not metal, I guess they could be metal, some kind of material of prongs. So they kind of go over and under, kind of like a fork. That's the best way I can think to describe it. They kind of feel like a fork. One of them is shorter than the other two in the middle, so it goes long, short, long. And you hang it over a glass, and I haven't used it yet because I don't have any batteries here. But you stick it on in your glass, and it's supposed to beep and let you know that your stuff is full. And this was $6 as well. I don't know if it works. Last time I got one, it did not work. But I'm going to try it again. I had hope that maybe I got a defective one. This one actually works. Hopefully. Again, this was $6. And I'm putting it back in the drawer now. Alright. Yeah, I think that's all I want to show you. Although, I might add more. Yeah, I'm going to add more. I'm going to make another video. I'm going to show you all how I do the drawing board. Real quick. So, voiceover. Let me turn the speech off here for a second. There we go. I'm trying to remember how to do it. So, you just take 3 fingers and double tap on the screen. Alright, so I'm at my second desk over here. I don't really use this one very much, but I've got, to my right, I've got a basket piled high with, books, Braille paper, different, like, manuals on Braille. I only kept a couple, but it was like, signs of Namath code and math and stuff like that, scientific code. Then of course I got Braille label sheets up on top and a box of Braille paper. And then in front of me is my Brailler off to the side a little bit, and I've got the window in front, and of course Fred's here, my skeleton. He's standing by the window, kind of. Actually, you're probably seeing him right now because it's the camera's kind of facing him. It's just me and Fred. Fred's a skeleton. It's a little miniature skeleton I thought would help in anatomy, which it kind of did, because I could actually have this one in my room. And also, I mean, who wouldn't want a skeleton to dress up and stuff? So I literally, I couldn't find anything to dress it up with in the Halloween, but I stuck it by the window and I put its hand out like it was waving at people. I got a good fun out of that because people were like, why do you have a skeleton in your room? I was like, oh, just for the heck of it. So I named him Fred because I took anatomy in high school too, and I couldn't take any models home because we didn't use models in high school very much, and so that was interesting class. But anyway, so I had to have some kind of model that I could feel, so I bought my own. Or actually, I didn't. My dad bought it for me for my birthday. But I got my own to use. So that's Fred. Alright, so in front of me, I have the drawing board. It's basically just a wooden thing. Here, let me see if you can see it. So it's like a wooden frame with a textured surface on the side that you write with. So that's my finger actually touching the surface. So it's like textured, that's pretty much all it is. This board was, I think, about, I don't know, $12, $13. They make some that ranged from $20 to over $200. And the $200 one is really cool. It was, I think it was called the Draftsman, something like that. It's basically this board that has plastic sheets, and it's like, uses heat to raise the lines. And then they kind of made a miniature iron to flatten the lines. They made an eraser. And so it's really cool, but it's also very expensive, and I couldn't afford it being a college student. So this is my option, and it has worked surprisingly pretty good. Now, keep in mind, I can't draw. I'm blind. I haven't used a lot of tactile drawing experience. But when other people draw stuff, most of the time I can figure out what it is. Now, I have trouble because it's two-dimensional. So literally, it's really hard for me to imagine, like, whenever you see a person, like you see like a side view or a top view, how that would look, because everything to me is in 3D. So for a person to only have one arm, to me, is interesting whenever you draw them, because how can you only see one arm whenever there's supposed to be two? I'm not meaning like people that are only only have one arm. I mean people that draw people with one arm because they assume that the other side is symmetrical and all that stuff. It's just hard for me to picture, and most of the time I don't even know what a person would feel like in drawing. So, okay, let me give you an example. So, someone drew a table. This was a study someone was doing in, I think it was Nepal or somewhere like that. So they had a student draw a table, okay? And their table was predictable. This is what I would draw. A giant rectangle with 4 lines coming out of the each corner of the rectangle. And of course they explained that was wrong. And in my head I was like, why is that wrong? That's what a table looks like, you know? I don't understand that you can only draw a certain point of the table and you know it's a table. Like, how do you guys know that a certain line means this, or that even a bottle? Like, how do you draw a Coke can whenever there's no shape? Like, it's round. How do you draw a round shape that you can't make round on a piece of paper? And it's flat, so how does that work? I don't know. I can't figure that out. But they said I was wrong, and I don't understand why. Because, I mean, being blind, I can't conceptualize the whole visual process. Like, for example, I was told the other day that a tree, when you look at a tree, this is amazing to me. It gets, I think it is taller when you get closer. So, when you get really far away, it looks really small, and then when you get closer, it's bigger. Which is hard for me to understand because it's like, it's the same height. It's a tree, you know, it has branches and leaves and it has all that stuff it's supposed to have. So why does it look different whenever you're farther away? And me being totally blind, me being born blind, I can't conceptualize. So, you know, they were explaining, like, you may see that it's a tree, but you may not be able to see the hole in the trunk, or maybe there's a bird inside, maybe there's a nest, maybe there's a squirrel on the tree. You can't see the squirrel until you get close to it. And I'm like, well, the squirrel's still there. Like, why does it matter your distance? So I don't understand perspective. I don't understand two-dimensional anything. That's why I had trouble with, like, even raised line drawing, because it's still, even though it's 3D in a way you can touch it, it's still 2D, it's still flat. So it has no very small, if any, significant meaning to me at all. Like, you could draw a dog, and I probably wouldn't even know what it was. Just because I would have a general idea that it's an animal because it has 2 legs. And the legs are kind of pointing in the shape of a dog, so I can kind of picture the side body, of a dog, because I've knelt along the side of a dog, and I felt whenever they stand up, So I can see that there's 2 legs, and I can assume that there's 4 legs, and the way that it's shaped. Now, if you drew just the head, I would probably have no idea. Or if you drew I'm trying to think of something more complicated. Let's see. If you drew a fence, that might be a little hard. I might be able to figure it out. But if you drew something really complicated, like some of the paintings that I've heard described to me, or even just pictures in general, like sighted people, wow, that's something. I don't know how y'all do it. So here's my drawing. I'm going to draw something. And if you guys want me to demonstrate trying to draw something, comment and I'll attempt. I don't know how it's going to look, obviously. But I can look up on the computer, see if they have any directions for drawing blind. I wish they did. If they did, let me know. So, okay. Sorry for talking so long. I kind of wanted to explain the whole idea of visually not seeing anything. Alright, so I'm going to draw a circle. Yeah, because that's not going to be too hard. Although, I can't draw a straight line, so a circle is going to be much harder. So I'm going to go up here in the corner. I'm going to try to draw a circle. Okay, well, that's not a very good circle, and the paper has a hole in it, which I forgot. So, let me try that again. Okay, no, that's not a circle either. As you might be able to see, I don't know if you guys can see. Let's do a square. So line, 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 and line. Wow, okay. So you're seeing me fail at drawing in general. I don't know if you guys can see him shining it down towards the paper. Maybe. Okay, I don't know. But me being blind and trying to draw is funny. I'm not saying that blind people can't draw, can't do art. I'm not saying that at all. It's just me, I can't. I never had experience with tactile drawing as a child. I think the most I've had was crayons, whenever you have, like the waxy feeling. And of course we had wiki sticks and all that, but that wasn't the same as seeing it, what I drew. So, yeah, so that's my adventure with drawing. I can draw a lot more, I just choose not to, because it's really not a big deal for me. I mean, I don't really care. I would love to learn how to draw more, but realistically, it's not going to serve a purpose, so there's really no point. I would like to be able to learn how to draw some scientific stuff. Maybe a graph would be good to draw, but realistically, I don't know how good it would be because I can't. I mean, there's so many other models and so many other things that are available for graphs that I don't really need to. And other people can draw a lot better than I can, obviously. They're sighted. So, I'm not saying that sighted people are all great at drawing, but they're better than me. And there's also, I'm sure, a lot of blind people that are better than I am at drawing because a lot of times they rely on their visual remembrances, so I don't have any of those, so I can't really do that. So I think that's my video. I'm gonna title this, like, something about showing off my new stuff and drawing. And if you guys have any good experiences with drawing, or maybe some tips for me about how to draw, or anything like that, let me know. And, oh, by the way, I forgot to mention, I'm using a regular pen. I think it's like black, but it doesn't have to be black. It can be regular color. I just chose black because it was cheaper. It was like $1. Got a whole pack for $1. I was so excited though, because I was like, I need to buy pens. Because, I've never been able to go to a store and actually, like, buy school supplies for myself. It's normally been, for other people. Like, of course, in elementary school, I had to buy glue and scissors and crayons and pencils. And that was just because, I had to be like everybody else and get pencils. And I had to have some extras for friends and all that, and sometimes it was for the teachers. Like, they would say, we need 3 dry erase markers, and it wasn't for me, it was for the teachers. But whatever, So, going to the store and buying I didn't buy a notebook, I bought one of those packages of papers. It's like a 3-hole punch paper, I think it was like 100 sheets. I was so excited, I was like, yes, I'm buying a paper that I'm gonna use, and I'm buying a pen and pencils, and I bought scissors too, which everybody needs scissors. But yeah, that was my first time actually going to the store and buying stuff that I actually needed for myself, and that I knew I was gonna actually use. And even though I've only used about 2 pens, I use them more than I think I would. Like, I use them for signing, and sometimes for this, to demonstrate. Sometimes people will even have me bring this drawing board into various classes to kind of show how it works. So, sorry, let me show you real quick. So it has this tactile thing on the, on the surface, like I mentioned, and it makes a tactile line on the paper. But sometimes you can't really feel it, so you have to draw backwards or flip the paper over. I don't think I drew hard enough to make anything. Okay. Ooh, hey, that's a pretty good square. That's actually really good. That's actually probably the best I've ever done as far as squares. Ooh, there's my circle. Not a very good circle. Okay, so here's my circle. I don't know if you guys can see. And then here's my square. Maybe. There it is. It's very tactile. I can feel it. And I didn't even draw that hard on the square. It's actually kind of straight. It's a little bit angled, but it's straight. And it's not really a square. It's more like a... I don't know what you would call that. But at least the lines are connected. Because last time I drew one, the lines were not connected at all. Oh, that line's going out a little bit. This line up here is going out. But yeah. So that's all I'm going to say for now. Sorry this video is so long. And thank you all for watching. And have a good day. Feel free to comment. And thank you to the one person who subscribed to my video yesterday. I'm at 21. I'm so excited. Hopefully I make it 25. Have a good night.